Hey, what's up and how's it going, everyone? Well, I'm so glad that you have took your time to spend with me right here today on the MRB Wrestling Review Show. I am your co-host, Mike McRock Wilson, and last night was WWE Monday Night Raw. The show kicked off when the new World Heavyweight Champion John Cena came out and pretty much gave us his glory speech of him defeating Alberto Del Rio at Hell in a Cell to become the new World Heavyweight Champion, hustle, loyalty, respect, etc., etc. And this was pretty much going nowhere, this John Cena promo, until it got good, when Damien Sandow came out and addressed that he is the uncrowned World Heavyweight Champion, and shortly when John Cena kind of waved Sandow to the side, we see Damien Sandow go ahead and attack John Cena. He attacked his injured arm. I like how they're playing on this as well, which I will get to in just a bit. And cashed in on John Cena. What I like about this was that these two guys put on a great match. Overall, I thought it was a match of the night on Monday Night Raw. And I was a little skeptic at first about the idea of cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase, because usually when someone cashes in the briefcase, it's when the other opponent, the champion, is very vulnerable and the referee rings the bell and they go for the pin, 1, 2, 3. That didn't happen. I like that they didn't play on that cliche, so there's that predictability factor is gone. So I like how they kind of rejuvenated the idea of the Money in the Bank briefcase. And what happened was that these two guys, like I said, put on an incredible match. And what I noticed was that John Cena's arsenal in his repertoire is a little different. I like how he's, putting in these new moves that he hardly ever did before, especially at Hell in a Cell, when he nailed a drop kick in the crossbody off the top rope, etc., etc. And he done that modified neck breaker to Damien Sandow on Raw. I thought that was pretty good on the part of John Cena. I like, a superstar really, making more to the match with new moves. I like that in a superstar, in anyone, no matter who it is. And it probably won't stop people complaining about John Cena's 5 moves of doom, but at least he's trying to do something to go over with the very critical wrestling fans. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. Time will tell. That's all I have to say about that. But I think that Damien Sandow losing to John Cena was the right way to go, because of the way the WWE has been booking Damien Sandow. He wasn't in a good spot overall because he just didn't feel very credible having momentum going into cash in on the world champion. And if he were to become champion, where would he go from there? It would almost feel like he would become the new Jack Swagger or Dolph Ziggler, where he would lose it in a month and then just go down the tube. And for that reason, I think that was a smart decision on the part of WWE for John Cena to go over Damien Sandow. There's still hope for Sandow left. I think he will bounce back from this. Hopefully, we'll see when time will tell, in the weeks to come, going into Survivor Series. Also on the show, Big E Langston defeated the United States Champion Dean Ambrose via disqualification. And before we saw that match, we saw the Shield kind of promo up on the screen, and there was a moment in there where Dean Ambrose mentioned that I'm the only Shield member left with a champion, and I will defeat and I will defeat Biggie Langston because I'm the baddest man on the planet, or something along those lines. And you see Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins look at Dean Ambrose like, you're really full of yourself or something. It's almost like they're planting a seed. It's only a tiny little seed they're planting for a potential split up. And what I also noticed is that after Dean Ambrose won via the disqualification, was that when Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns were in the ring with Dean Ambrose, it was almost like they didn't feel like a cohesive three-man power unit. It's almost like they're going this way instead of this way, and I think, with their 1 year anniversary coming up as the Shield, this could come full circle for them in that moment going into Survivor Series, because last year at Survivor Series they made their debut, so it's only fitting for the Shield to break up at Survivor Series. I think that could be the direction that the WWE will go when it comes to the Shield. And with Biggie Langston, I could see him becoming the new United States champion going forth. And it will also help him in the long term as well as Dean Ambrose, because he's a guy that can potentially become a credible contender for the main championships, like the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. And with John Cena making the World Heavyweight Championship credible again, I could see a potential rivalry between John Cena and Dean Ambrose in the future. I don't know how far in the future that would go, but I could definitely see it happen. Also, we saw Shawn Michaels apologizing to Daniel Bryan after he sweet-chin music Daniel Bryan at Hell in a Cell. He cost him the match. And what I really like about that segment in that promo was that Daniel Bryan really didn't need to say anything at all. His facial expressions really spoke volumes throughout that entire thing. I was really impressed. And the way he sold his emotions was absolutely incredible. I'm even surprised that Daniel Bryan allowed Shawn Michaels to talk for a good few minutes before he even attacked Shawn Michaels, because of the way he was selling his emotions on Raw. It's just one of those things, right? And with that said, Shawn Michaels brought up that he is best friends with Triple H, and they'll always come first, and everything else is secondary to that. And we saw Daniel Bryan not accepting his apology, and we heard the "You Sold Out" chants to HBK, and then Daniel Bryan applies the yes lock on Shawn Michaels and makes him tap out, and the audience is chanting, "You tapped out, you tapped out." I thought that segment was a little weird, but also in the same time, it worked really well. The only reason why I think it was weird is because Shawn Michaels at this point in his career really don't need to turn as a heel, because he is that high stature Hall of Famer superstar wrestler. So it really wouldn't make sense for him in his career to turn, but I can understand why they're doing it, because they're building up to this potential teacher versus student, which I would actually be okay with if Shawn Michaels will come out of retirement. I don't know if it's likely to happen, but if it does happen, I'm already sold. But shortly after that, we saw the Wyatt family attack Daniel Bryan from behind, so I don't know if this will be the last interaction between Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan. It's almost like they put that to the side after the Wyatt family attacked Daniel Bryan. Now they're going to focus on that. And when CM Punk was attacked by the Wyatt family in his match with Ryback, which I will get to in a bit, I think that, they could be going in a direction where there's going to be a potential 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 match where You involve Daniel Bryan and CM Punk on one team, and you have the Wyatt family on the other. And when the Wyatt family attacked both guys, you saw Bray Wyatt say, "The devil made me do it," which kind of made me think that they are on the outside looking in with this whole corporation storyline as well. And when he said the devil, immediately I thought of Vince McMahon for some weird reason. I really don't know why. The other guy I thought of was Kane, which I will also get to in a bit, which would be considered a little off, but I don't know where it's going to go with the Wyatt family, with the corporation, and Survivor Series, but I think that, the way Monday Night Raw was overall was, it kind of felt like, they could potentially go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, and I think that they need to come together and have more solid storylines going forth in separate directions instead of directions all in one place. That's what I think about last night's Raw. But overall, it was actually not a bad episode. I know I say this, in the end of this, review, but I think, just saying it now, I will get that out of the way. All right, so moving on. Also on Monday Night Raw, we saw Los Matadors defeat 3MB. I thought the only thing I didn't like was that the focus was on Heath Slater trying to catch the bull, and that took away from the match. And that's the only thing I have to say about that tag team match. I'll just go as far as that. The Divas Champion AJ Lee and Tamina snuck undefeated the Bella Twins, and AJ Lee made Nikki Bella tap out. They didn't play on what happened at Hell in a Cell between the Bella Twins on Raw. So is there going to be a split with the Bella Twins? We'll see what happens in the future. Also, we saw Kane defeat The Miz in just what appears to be a squash match. And it felt like that the audience wasn't really reacting to the match at all, so it ended quickly, completely understandable. But then, after the match, we saw Kane calling out Stephanie McMahon and said that you keep abusing your power, you keep, doing this week after week after week, and then makes a complete 180 and said, this monster is yours to do your bidding. And here I'm thinking, what in the world did I just see? And then when Kane walked up the ramp, he took his mask off and just handed it to Stephanie McMahon, and Stephanie McMahon held it up and saying, yeah, now we got the monster on our team. And again, I go back to thinking, why is Kane doing this? Is because Kane just came back to attack the Wyatt family and then make this complete 180, and it's like I actually don't know what to think at this point yet. It's almost like, he wants to go undercover to give Vince McMahon some answers of what Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are doing. I don't know. That's just a long shot theory that might work. I'm not really sure yet, but I will make my clear-cut judgments throughout the next couple of weeks to see where this is going to go for Kane. Also, it does add a little mystery as to where this direction with Kane is going to go, so I kind of like that. I kind of like that there's a mystery behind the monster. That's how I like to name it, the mystery behind the monster. Also, we saw CM Punk defeat Ryback, and it was a street fight. I gotta say, that was the worst street fight I have ever seen. I'm not gonna go any further than that. And then, like I said, the Wyatt family came out and attacked CM Punk, so that kind of made up for the match. And we'll see where this goes with the Wyatt family and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. I think somehow they're going to put Kane in the mix, probably The Miz and Kofi Kingston, because of the history with the Wyatt family and Kane. I think that might be the direction that they're going to go for a potential Survivor Series match. Also, we saw the Real Americans defeat the WWE Tag Team Champions, Cody Rhodes and Goldust. I don't mind that. I don't mind the odd loss from the Tag Team Champions because it makes the show more interesting. And having the Real Americans now contenders for the championships, finally they got that break that they needed. The only thing that feels weird about it is that they're coming off of a loss from Los Matadors. So with that being said, I don't see the Real Americans going over Cody Rhodes and Goldust for the tag team titles. I think, and on top of that, Cody Rhodes and Goldust losing the titles is still way too soon. I like to see this play out slowly, bit by bit. I can see them probably potentially losing their championships, maybe at either TLC or at the Royal Rumble or somewhere in between there, just to build up a one-on-one match between the two of them for WrestleMania 30. I know it's talked about, it's rumored by everyone, and I think the WWE has the potential to go in that direction. Also, we saw Alberto Del Rio addressing the World Heavyweight Champion John Cena. I thought that segment alone was just pretty much the most pointless and boring promo I've seen on Monday Night Raw, because we already knew this information. We already knew that John Cena has we already knew that Alberto Del Rio has a rematch clause in his contract for the World Heavyweight Championship, so there was really no need for Alberto Del Rio to come out and say that, because it is what it is. So with that being said, I can see this ending as Survivor Series with John Cena going over Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. And also about the World Heavyweight Championship, I think that John Cena after Survivor Series needs a credible opponent for him, just to help build up as well. So we'll see where it goes with John Cena in the World Heavyweight Championship with Alberto Del Rio. And after that, we saw Natalya defeat Summer Rae. Summer Rae coming off her pay-per-view debut match in the mixed tag team match, pinning Natalya. And to have Natalya go over Summer Rae on Raw, I thought was a little bit of a slap in the face when it comes to momentum, building up new divas, because it just killed the momentum for Summer Rae to become a credible diva on the roster. I don't know if she'll branch off on her own. I think it's way too soon for her to do that, so I can see her with Fandango for a good few months before she branches off to become a singles competitor in the Divas division. So I don't think the momentum hurt Summer Rae too much, just a little. But we'll see what happens going forth in the Divas division. What I really like about Monday Night Raw is that we saw 2 Divas matches, so there's hope left in the Divas division going forth on Raw and SmackDown. And the main event was a WWE Championship coronation. Randy Orton's celebration, winning the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell, only to have it crashed by the Big Show. And what I'm getting out of this is that they're going to lead to a potential one-on-one match for Survivor Series with Randy Orton and the Big Show. I don't really know if I'm going to look forward to seeing this match. Only because Randy Orton, I don't know about him facing the Big Show. I think that Daniel Bryan should be the guy to face Randy Orton for Survivor Series because of the momentum that he already had going forth. So I think that what the WWE is likely to do is have Daniel Bryan lose momentum and not put him in the title picture, and have Big Show being put in there, which I don't think is the right way to go. But I do understand it in a storyline perspective, because there is the potential for Vince McMahon to return sooner rather than later, to be on the side of Big Show, to be in his corner at Survivor Series if he does face Randy Orton for the championship, and to have Randy Orton have Triple H in his corner. So just to have this power struggle story maybe come to a conclusion, or to have another plot storyline twist at Survivor Series and have it conclude at WrestleMania. What do you think about the power struggle within Raw and SmackDown in the WWE? Comment below and let me know. And that was my review of last night's Monday Night Raw. For the MRB Wrestling Review Show, I'm your co-host, Mike McRock Wilson. And to all you MRBers watching, get plenty of rest and always do your best.